Hello, everybody. My name is Jen Raza, and I am one of the co-founders at Altenew. And I'm thrilled to have you join us for another Facebook and YouTube Live here at the Altenew channel. So every single week on a Tuesday, I will be here at 4 o'clock Eastern Time sharing a brand new challenge. And the whole point of this challenge is to help you get out of your creative rut or push yourself outside of your boundaries to do something that you don't normally do and try something new. And I know it's like, what is the purpose? There's like many purposes to this, but I think one of the most important things is coming together as a community and sharing a hobby that we all love and making sure we take time for ourselves. If I had a mission statement, it would need to be that long. The mission is to do all of these things, all of the above. That's the mission statement for this live session. So I'm hoping that you guys get something out of this, whether you feel inspired to go create, see something that you've never tried before, learn something new, or even just watch for the fun of it, say hi to your friends in the comments. It's all good. Many ways that you can enjoy our weekly sessions. And in addition to just having some fun, we also have prizes and winners. So there are two ways to win. The first way is pretty easy. All you need to do is share us while we're live. So hit that share button and then leave a comment here letting us know that you shared. And within the next hour, we will have a winner announced who will win a $15 gift certificate to the Altenew store. And then the other way to win is by playing along with the challenge and making sure to use our hashtag, which is hashtag Altenew Challenge Live. All right, let me just kind of look off screen for a minute because I'm always trying to read the comments at the same time as speak towards the camera, and I can't really do both that easily. So let me look and see who I've missed, but thank you to those of you who have already said hello and joined us. We've got Mitzi behind the badge. Miss Tamp is here. Dan is here. Nancy is here. Giselle and Laura has joined us once again. If I miss you, I'm sorry. Trisha is here. Cece and many more. Thank you to those of you who already shared. Also, Sue is here. Oh, Giselle is coming in from Brazil. Nice to have you. And Polly and anyone else that I missed. And thank you, Debbie, you also shared. Oh, someone said they liked my earrings. Yes, I had a very like crafting teacher outfit on today because I have a skirt that has pencils on it. You know, normally someone thinks of a pencil skirt and they think of the shape of the skirt as being like a slim, close to body fitting skirt. But my pencil skirt is literally a pencil skirt. And around the lower edge, there are rainbow colored pencils. It's really cute. So then I have the pencil earrings to go along. Usually I don't wear dangly earrings because my son sometimes gets his hands on them, but he's like getting older. He's a big boy now. He's 2. So I think we're getting a little better, and I'll probably switch out of them anyway by the time I'm done with the live, and then I'll just have my regular earrings in. But I think I'm getting back to maybe putting necklaces on. If you've had a little one, I'm sure you have been through this too. You know, no jewelry because they will pull at it. So hi to anyone else who just came in too. Rocky Mountain Bloom is here and Tessie is here. Okay, so let's start by going through last week's challenge. So last week was a really fun one. It was a scrap buster challenge, and I know that you've all got scraps, and some of you may just say, I'm done with you scraps, I'm recycling you, and others just keep them and hoard them for a rainy day. That type is me. So I knew I'd have some great scraps to use up. And let me share with you what I created last week. I'll start with my lesser of the favorites. I think this one was experimental for me, and I'm really happy I went for it. This whole background panel was one from a flower die where all of these cutouts were different flower petals that I adhered together on a separate card. It was actually on one of these lives long ago. And I did all this ink blending first so that the petals would come out rainbow colored. And then I set this aside because I was like, oh man, that's so cute. So I kept that negative piece, or I guess, yeah, this would be the negative piece. And then I thought that they looked like butterflies. So we made some little butterflies here. Very whimsical, very sweet. Oh, Nancy, she says, stand up and show us the skirt. I've already switched out of the skirt, and I'm wearing my classic striped pajama pants. So normal outdoor human clothes don't stay on my body very long. The moment I come home, I switch out of those immediately. But if I remember, I will show you guys this skirt. I got it at ModCloth years and years and years ago. So if you go on Google and search ModCloth colored pencil skirt, maybe you'll find it. It's like a deep navy with rainbow colored pencils. But yeah, no, the second I walked in the door, that came off my body and I put on some pajama pants. All right, so Trisha's saying she has a granddaughter. When she was teething, she would chew on the diamond cross, and I had to go do inventory to make sure all the diamonds were still there. That's scary, right? Because, you know, if you bite it the right way, I'm sure a diamond can get dislodged from, I don't know what it's called, but you know, the prongs that hold them in. So yeah, no, that is scary. You do have to take inventory and make sure that none got accidentally swallowed. Although a good thing about a diamond is it would pass. You know, probably not chokeable even if they're like a good sized diamond, it's probably not that much of a choking hazard. But no, I totally get it. You've got to be careful around little ones with jewelry. Vanessa's saying, I don't see any video. Has it started? Yes, we've started. So I don't know if maybe Mitzi, you can message Vanessa and give her some help with making sure that she can check out the live stream. And then this was my second card. I know. I made 2 cards. They weren't completed, but this I just had to finish like 1 or 2 extra butterflies because I wanted them to be like fluttering up towards the corner. And then I almost had this one complete. I'm using the same greeting as I did for last week's card, like the previous week, because the black outer part, that was a scrap. So we were using scraps, and that black outer portion, I just had sitting on my desk. So all I had to do to finish it up was add the white greeting to it. So that's why that greeting is familiar if you saw that last time around. And yeah, this one I used a die cut background. Again, it was an instance where I used the positive fallouts and it was a 0 waste. So I got this really great background. I was hanging on to that. This was another live video we did. This frame was from a live. I probably should have like marked out when all of these lives happened because these are all leftovers from cards and projects I've made right here. All right, enough about my cards. Let's talk about the winning project. So it was really great seeing all your entries. Love seeing those scraps go to good use. Some of you did great things with multiple scraps of different patterns, textures, sizes, prints, all those things, like patchwork. So cool. I know this is going to take a second for me to share my screen as always, but I'm excited to share the winning project with you. Opening it up. Please open. There we go. Okay, and sharing my screen. Here we go. So drum roll, please. And the winner from last week's is Diane Roberts. Congratulations, Diane. So this was the fabulous project that Diane created. And what I was really impressed with is she said it was all scraps. Everything's a scrap. I love that. What a great way to use different patterns and colors and all this fantastic themed, right? We've got flowers, we've got bees, we've got the whole 9 yards right here. So I thought it was a cool color scheme. I love the black and white and the yellow. And again, just having the fully scrap project. I think maybe she said the card base wasn't a scrap, but everything else was a scrap. So that's really cool. And yeah, congratulations to you, Diane. This one was really fun. And I loved all the projects that were submitted. If you choose to play along this week, make sure that you use the hashtag, which is hashtag Altenew Challenge Live. And that's how I'm going to be able to find your project. So if you want to play along, please, 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 please take some time for yourself and do it this week. So that gets to this week's project. So the theme is soft focus. And this one's just about using dreamy, soft, light, airy, and airiness, light colors, anything that gives you that light, airy feeling. You can interpret that lots of different ways. You can use vellum. It's like literally like see-through, right? Or acetate, or you can just use pastel colors, anything that you want that would bring a touch of airiness to your project. You could even do it with the theme of your supplies, which is kind of the direction I think I'm going to be going to today. I don't often have a very solid idea of what I'm going to do each week, but I do have a basic idea. And then we just let the project unfold live here. And then anything that I don't finish during the live, I will wrap up on my own time. And then you guys can come back and see the final result of what I worked on plus the winners. So let me pop you down and I can show you some of the goodies that I grabbed for today. Okay, so remember, we're doing soft focus, light and airy. So I instantly thought of clouds. And this is a really, really great stencil, this cloud scene stencil. And this is an older one, but I did check and it is still available. Anytime something's like a good seller and we think people will still want it, they don't get retired out. So any older stamps, dies, stencils, whatever that have been retired, it's because we're not reordering as frequently from the manufacturer, but anything that gets consistent reorders, we tend to keep around. So I have old packaging on this cloud scene stencil, but I believe the ones, if you buy it now, might get new packaging. Maybe, maybe not. I did not double check on that, but it is there in stock. And it might not look like much here, but we keep both pieces so you can create a cloudy sky or cloudy background. Go ahead and focus, please. Okay, it's probably having trouble because of it's in the packaging still. But you can see how you can do soft blending. So I think I'm going to go with some rainbow clouds. And then I have vellum, which I might do. And if we're doing airy, I was like, oh, well, what's in the air? Well, airplane is in the air, and that's airy. So I was thinking of using this, but then I checked right before I went live, and unfortunately, the Enjoy the Flight Mini Delight set is out of stock. You can click the Notify Me button so that you can get an email when this does come back in stock. But I wanted a backup plan, so in case I don't go with the airplane, I just picked a floral set that was speaking to me, and I love how big and beautiful the images are here. This is the Flutter and Bloom, and this is one of our special 8x10 stamp sets that we release every year. I think this was maybe 2 years ago. Let's see, 2024. Yeah, 2 years ago. So that's what we have here is the Flutter and Bloom. So I'm going to start by stenciling my background, and I'll show you how this stencil works in case you haven't used it before. If for some reason you want to create clouds and you don't have this stencil, you could get a similar look by taking a piece of acetate. Acetate would be best, or even you could take a cardstock and cut like a random cloudy like pattern, or you can take some cloud dies that you might have and die cut out to create your own stencil. This is honestly way easier just to have the stencil, but I do want to give you an option just in case. But it's worth the money. Honestly, if any of you guys have this, you would probably say that in the comments too, that it's worth the $7 just to get the stencil already created. And you get this great organic cloud line, and you get the other side of it. The other side, the positive and the negative. Okay, so let me show you how this works. Going to place down some cardstock. I do need to grab ink blenders and some nice airy light pastel-y colors. Are you surprised that I want to do rainbow colors? Let's actually go with rose quartz. Okay, so that's going to be like a lightish pink tone. I'll take peachy glow. maybe blue, like dewdrops. That's cute. Okay, so not a complete rainbow, but rainbowy colors. I think this will be really pretty together. Okay, so let's start off with my blending brushes, and I'm going to be using the small blending brushes for this. I know I'm going against my favorite minis. I love the minis, but I'm thinking just because I'm going to be doing larger blending, I want to do something with a slightly bigger head. So this is the small blending brush size. I'm just picking colors right now that go with the ink colors I selected. I do not personally use a different brush for every ink color. I don't have enough storage for that. If I did, I would love to just like pull open a drawer and be like, this is the Peachy Glow blending brush. This is the Dewdrops blending brush, but I don't. So I just go with close enough. And pinky. I've got two that are kind of similar. This one looks more like the rose quartz. I know it's a little orangey, but if it comes out orangey when I blend it, it's okay. I'm just going with a vibe here, not anything specific. By the way, as I'm talking, I have an iced latte that my husband made before I went live, and it is so good. We just got an espresso pod machine, which I can't believe I actually bought that because we have an espresso machine, like an actual legitimate espresso machine where you have to, I don't know what all the tools are called, but you have the little basket thing and you put the big heavy thing into it and push it down and pop it in and do the whole thing. And I found that since my son was born, we haven't been taking the time to use it. And I love espresso drinks. So we're just like, all right, let's just do the Nespresso because that's quick and easy. And it's pretty good. We just got it last week and I've been enjoying making all sorts of drinks. All right, so now I have to make a decision here. The decision is, do I want the sky to be colored or do I want the clouds to be colored? Because imagine that this is a cloud, right? This shape right here. If I blend up above it, then the sky is going to be my rainbow colors. And then the cloud itself is going to look white. However, you can also use this part and I can blend below it. So then the sky would be white and my clouds will be rainbows. And if this bothers you, just take a piece of tape, like satin masking tape, and then just mask that off. So that's not a big deal at all. But I hope you can visualize what I mean by that, which part of it's white. I'm going to use this and have the sky be white and the sky be colored and my clouds be white. So as you use this, you can rotate it around and you can flip it, and that's going to help give you realistic looking skies. So let's start just kind of like this. Okay, so it's not going to look like much when you begin. Yes. Oh, I'm seeing in the comments, you guys are asking about our Philippine friends. Yes, they are doing well, which is good to hear after the earthquake in the Philippines. So let me grab my blending brush. I'm just going to do a quick like swipe off onto a scrap piece of cardstock just to make sure I like that color. Why is it coming up invisible on camera? It's there. It is absolutely there. This happened last time I used really light colors. And I will bring this up to the camera closer in a moment so that you guys can see it. Oh, it's a little mark on my cardstock. Yeah, I could move this. Oh, it's tough with the lights. I have so many lights on so that everything stays illuminated, but it is a little bit hard for you guys to see that pink. Trust me, it's there. Sue's saying espresso is coffee, not for me. She loves tea and chai tea. I do love a chai and I love matcha. So that's another one I'm into. Ooh, a surprise little piece of cardstock just jumped out. Okay, so this is now the Peachy Glow. And I'm doing a test swipe. Love it. Okay, there's my Peachy Glow. It's like bubble gum or cotton candy up here. And then let's add some of the dewdrops. I think I might just leave these open because I'm going to go back and forth with the different colors. So rose quartz, peachy glow, and let's pop up the dewdrops. And a little color test. Oh, I love it. It's like a greeny blue. So cute. So let's start in the corner. Put a little bit right there. This would look so cute with as a background for like a unicorn. We just recently released a carousel horse. Oh my goodness. On screen, this looks white. You guys, you need to be here. Okay, let's peel this off. And you can see our sky is starting to take shape. Okay, the colors are really beautiful. You just, you can't see all of them. Okay, right now it's reading gray. It is lovely colors. Look at that. They're so pretty. I don't know how to fix them. No, that's making it worse. Oh, there we go. Okay, I think the colors are coming a little more true now. Okay, so now that I did this, I'm going to rotate around and just, I can overlap them because that's going to make it more realistic. And now I go again in these colors and blend up. So I can blend this way and grab some of that peachy glow. And you'll see the more I layer, the more realistic this sky and these clouds become. Do a little bit of rose quartz right over here. Now, if you want a more traditional looking sky, then I would recommend using like blues, standard light blues. And now jumping back in and always keeping the darkest part of each color right along that edge, because that's what's going to make the clouds themselves appear lighter than the sky behind it. Just like this, a little bit more of my dewdrops. Put that there. And what's nice about these colors is they do blend in a pretty way. So if I picked colors that were opposite one another on the color wheel, it wouldn't be as pleasant looking when they interacted with one another. Now this cloud scene stencil, I am just continually rotating. You don't have to go across the whole thing either. So my stencil is going to stop right there, and I'm just going to blend more lightly as I get to that area. Oh, Diane's asking, how do you claim the prize? Email us. It's support@altenew.com, and let us know that you were the winner. So just put, I was a winner of Jen's Tuesday challenge, or of creative challenges with Jen, or I was a winner from the Facebook Live challenge. Just let us know and we will get your $15 gift certificate to you. I'll rotate this even more. Okay. I'm hoping you can see this sky start forming. And I'm not going to do the whole thing because I know I'm going to be incorporating other things that I'm going to place on top of this. But if at any point I feel like I want more variety in my clouds, I can flip this stencil over and then you get the reverse. I think I'm going to use the dewdrops a little more sparingly, just because I'm liking the peachy glow with the rose quartz a little bit more. So as I come down. I'm going to keep that in mind. And all these just keep layering on top of one another. Now, there are other ways that you can utilize this stencil too, to get even more realistic of a background. Like I said before, your color choice does make a difference. Also, you could get a more realistic look if you didn't have them intersecting. So you can see here where I have this cloud and this cloud intersecting. That really wouldn't happen in real life, because if the clouds intersected, you would probably only see a little teeny tiny bit of the cloud behind it. But I just wanted to have more color blending. So that's why I'm just doing it like this. But yeah, if you want to make a more realistic sky with these clouds, you could. I would also have a lighter hand if I wanted to make it look more realistic. So I would pick a blue, as a nice light bluish tone, and then I would not be inking it as heavily. This is looking cute, you guys. Very magical. If you're just joining us, the theme is soft focus. So all you have to do is create a project that has some kind of softness, either softness in colors, softness in theme, soft supplies like flocking. I just thought of that. I don't think I've seen anybody use flocking in a long time. Do you guys know what I mean? It's like that powdery stuff. Like, I don't know exactly how to describe it other than just calling it flocking. But I remember there was, like, once upon a time, people would utilize flocking in their paper crafts, but I haven't seen that in a long time. But that would fit into this theme of soft focus. Tammy, thank you. She's saying, I like this color combo. Same. It's fitting a magical vibe. Definitely. It also, like I said, makes me think of cotton candy right now. So we'll just kind of let it blend out. And yeah, using the small blending brush was definitely the right move here, because I need that larger size. Okay, I'll do a little more of the dewdrops, just kind of here in the corner. And then blend up. And then we've got a nice soft focused background. Okay. A little more pink. And I think we're good. Okay, so you can see how easy and fun that was to create this like magical cloud background. The only part I'm like, don't love it is right here where that greenish blue got a little bit too dark. So I'll just cover that up with whatever I do here. Okay, so let's see what we've got to put on top of this background. Oh, Tammy's saying she just saw someone use the flower soft. I think it's flocking. Yeah, you might be right. I'd have to look into that to see if that's the flower soft, what it's called is flocking. Definitely. Oh, I agree, Carrie. Rainbow sherbet vibes. Yes. Definitely, definitely. Yummy. Okay. So now we have some magical clouds. And yes, I'm kind of regretting not pulling out the supplies for the unicorn that I could create using that carousel die set, because that would be so adorable if that was just like unicorn flying behind here. Do I have it within arm's reach? Do I? If I do, that is definitely where I'm headed with this. But if not, I will go with plan A or plan B. No, I don't think I have it next to me. Oh, okay. So maybe next time I can do that. Okay, so right now I was going to go with the Enjoy the Flight. maybe making a trail with vellum behind the airplane as a greeting. I think that'd be cool. But I don't have this in stock right now. We don't have it in stock. So I don't want to use something right now that you guys can't get right now. So if you're interested in this Enjoy the Flight set, please hit that notification button on our website so that we can get you guys notified when it comes back in stock. Sorry, I'm just trying to clean up here. I'll leave these inks out just in case I use them for my flowers. But we'll go ahead with plan B, which is Flutter and Bloom. I think having a butterfly, vellum butterfly maybe, and some flowers would be really cute. This is a monster set. Beautiful, big, very, very cool set. And let me show you packaging. So we have some card samples here. I agree, Gina, a kite would be great for this. Or like a hot air balloon. And Carrie's saying she hasn't used Flower Soft in years. So let me know, Carrie, if that's flocking, Flower Soft. I think it is, but I don't want to confirm it if I'm not sure. So maybe something like this, having the flowers come off from the side with the butterfly in front. Because I'm going to be using some vellum for my butterfly, I think I'm going to do heat embossing. So let's do that first. And since our theme is soft focus and we want to keep everything nice and soft and beautiful, I will see if I have my white embossing powder. I am still working on my craft room organization and I didn't think to pull that beforehand. Okay, clear. And I think this is white. This looks like white. Okay, so here's some embossing powder and my embossing ink. And then I'm going to get the weirdest supply in my craft room, which is the cornstarch. That's what I use to keep away the static that you would get from, like, if you guys have done heat embossing, you know what I'm talking about. But those little tiny specks and flecks of embossing powder that just love to grab themselves in all the wrong places and you try to get rid of it. It's easier if you lay something down first. So you can use a powder tool. They have like those little powder bags or little brushes with the powder inside. I have had this same cornstarch in my craft room for a long, long time. Look at this. This is how long you know it is. Best, or how old it is. Best if used by, get to focus, April 2012. Okay. So think about that. April 2012 is when this expired. This has been in my craft room that long. And look how much I still have. And every time I heat emboss, I use this. Lasts forever. I wonder if I should replace it. Is that gross? Is this going to spoil? Does this go bad? I'm not going to eat it, but ew. All right. So this is how I use it. Let me show you. I've got an old brush, not an Altenew brush. You don't want to use a nice brush for this because it's just cornstarch. I'll get a piece of paper. I've got a whole bunch of scrap paper from an old sewing pattern that I printed like 50 pages of, and then it was wrong. It was scaled wrong. If you've ever done a print and sew type situation, you have to get it exact right scale or it's not going to work. And I printed it at the wrong scale. It like fit to the page. So all the pages were wrong. So now I use this as scrap. Okay, Gina says, if I understood correctly, the Flower Soft does not use flocking powder. Oh, okay, so that's different. And Carrie says, old expired. Cornstarch should be okay as long as it's not being eaten. Okay, that's what I figured. I wasn't sure. Okay, let's pull out the good old stamp wheel here. And where did my vellum go? Did you guys see where that crawled off to? I definitely had a piece of vellum a second ago, right? Wasn't I just holding vellum? Oh, here it is. Went off screen. Okay, let's do a little zoom out. Okay, so I'll need the scrap paper to catch any spare powder. I'm popping my vellum here so I can stamp out a butterfly. Loving this side view butterfly. And you guys aren't going to see anything when I stamp it. However, once I add the powder, you will. Okay, so Gina's confirming that it is a different type of material. It's not flocking. But any and all of the above. This is how we got on this topic, is because we want to have soft as our theme. So you can use soft colors, or that would be physically soft, like tactile soft. Tammy says how it compares to traditional flocking texture. It has a light, airy, and slightly grainy, velvety feel rather than a completely flat, smooth felt finish. You apply wet, strong craft glue. Okay, that's great. So is that one the flower soft, or is that the flocking that description is for? I'm not quite sure. Okay, so let me get this inked up. Oh, I almost forgot my magic powder. Okay, so this is how I use the magic powder. Take the brush, dip it in, get off the excess, okay? This is just giving you some powder. And then I brush the powder on. You know, vellum, I think, isn't as bad when it comes to those little stray bits of powder. But you just want to be safe. Okay, I don't see any of that, but in my heart, I know it's there. Now we can do our stamping. Alrighty, boo. And stamping it down and hoping that looks good. I can see it. I know you can't, but it's there. So let's peel this off. And now pop that down and let's put some embossing powder on it. Okay, so I'm just looking to see where it's shiny. That's where it has been stamped. And then tap off the excess. And that looks like it's pretty perfect. Now you can see it. Okay. So I'm going to set this aside just to clean up my powder before I come in and heat that up. And then this paper is going back in this scrap paper bin to be used another time. Put all of this away. I don't need my cornstarch anymore. Brush some of that off. And then I'm just going to bring out my heat gun to heat that up. And vellum is notorious for warping. Okay, so I'm going to do my best to avoid some warping. And there are many tips and tricks to try while you're heat embossing on vellum. What I like to do is heat up my gun in advance. So wait till it gets nice and hot. Don't put your hand in front of it because these do get very hot. But just give it a few seconds. I'll turn it on a second because I don't know if it's going to be too loud that you guys can't hear me. It is probably fine, but you'll heat it up for a few seconds. And the other thing to do is move the heat gun constantly as you're heating it up and try to get an even heat all the way around. You can also heat from the back side so that you don't disrupt any of the powders on top because there is air that's blowing at this. So with a thin paper like vellum, you can go on the back side. If you're doing a hard cardstock, you know, you might not get hot enough from underneath, but the vellum, it's going to get hot, trust me. All right, so I'm gonna turn this on. Giselle loves vellum embossing. Yeah, and I haven't done heat embossing in a long time. It's tough to get this in camera view, but I'm moving my tool around and I'm gonna see when this starts to melt. Once it starts melting, it's gonna go pretty quickly. You can see in the top left corner, starting to go. And there we have it. Okay, so that's all melted. Now, it's a little bit warm still, a little warm to the touch, and slightly warped. If you guys have any additional tips to the ones that I mentioned, I would love to hear them, just because it is a little bit challenging on such a thin piece of paper. Gina, of course, I put my hand in front of the gun. I know, right? You have to be careful. Keep yourself protected when you do these things. Nancy saying, if you are of a certain age, you'll remember that soft focus was a technique used with Vaseline on a camera lens to help photograph older actors to help disguise their wrinkles. Yes, I'm not in a generation where that practice was common. I am in my 40s right now. I was born in the 80s, but I am aware of that technique because I've been trying to get into photography. And that is a technique that people still do to this day, surprisingly enough. And it does give like a soft blurred effect. Most people who want that look just do it in post-processing in Lightroom. But okay, so here is my beautiful, lovely butterfly. I'm realizing when I grabbed the stamp set, I did not take out the coordinating die set. So it is on the other side of my craft room. And being that we're live, I do not want to go run off and get that right now. So I'm just going to do a little bit of fussy cutting. It's like a nice callback to a few weeks ago. We did a fussy cutting challenge. All right, so let's just put this away. And I will quickly cut around my little butterfly. And then we'll see maybe where I should be stamping some flowers. I haven't decided yet if I want to stamp the flowers directly onto this background or not. Like, it kind of might be cool to see the clouds behind the flowers. Let me know what your thoughts are on that. Okay, so this is the arrangement I'm going to use. And then the butterfly is probably going to be here. Option one is stamping this on white cardstock. I don't think I would do vellum again because the butterfly is already vellum. So should this be on white cardstock and then cut out and placed on the card? Or should we try stamping it onto the clouds? But then you're going to see the clouds through it. So that might be weird, right? Why are the clouds being seen through the flowers? I don't know. Put your thoughts in the comments. I haven't made a decision yet. All right, so these are just our fine tip scissors. First, I'm going to do like a rough chop, rough cut around the butterfly, just so I'm not holding on to as much vellum. We'll zoom in a little bit so you guys can see better. And we talked a lot about fussy cutting in that earlier challenge, but an easy way to fussy cut is to hold your scissors pretty steady and just open and close them with your fingers while you rotate the cardstock, vellum, whatever it is that you are cutting. And then I also like to leave a little bit of an edge around just because A, I think it looks nice. B, I like to do that because it's just a little bit of insurance. You know, if you're going right to the edge and you go a little too far, you're going to end up cutting into something that you didn't want to cut. Giving the little edge border, make sure that you are not going to have a little error like that. When we produce our dies, most often, maybe 98% of the time, we have dies that leave a 1 millimeter border around the image. For greetings, they typically get 1.5, sometimes 2 millimeters around the edge of the sentiment. But I'm eyeballing it, you know, probably about 1 millimeter at this point. That's standard for most companies too. So if you have other dies that cut out coordinating stamped images, it's most often 1 millimeter. We just have this little extra bit. If you're just joining us, I left my die set on the other side of the room. So that's when we fussy cut. Okay, everyone's saying white embossing. Okay, so do white embossing. Giselle's saying do white embossing. Lisa says on white. Okay, so I'm guessing Lisa wants me to stamp the flowers onto white cardstock. And then Giselle is saying to just white emboss. This is so cute already. I think I'm going to do it on white. Both options would be good, but as I look at this, I'm almost losing the butterfly, honestly, because it's on vellum. And I think if the flowers are on vellum too, we're just not going to see a lot of everything. So I think the flowers I'll do on white, but I'm not going to stamp a lot of flowers. Like it'll be like way off the edge like this. And then for color, maybe I'll just stamp it in rose quartz or a different pink. All right, let's make some decisions while we set everything up. So I don't need my vellum anymore. I'll just pop that aside to the scraps. Thank you, Mary and Giselle. Now, as I'm getting my stamp wheel and some cardstock ready, I do want to remind you to share while we're live. We're going to be wrapping up pretty soon. And if you share this and leave a comment letting us know that you shared, you will be entered to win a $15 gift certificate to the Altenew store. And it's a pretty easy way to win. The other way to win is by playing along with our soft focus challenge. And all you need to do is create a project that has soft elements, a focus on soft colors, soft in theme, soft with physical touch, any way that you can interpret soft, and use the hashtag Altenew Challenge Live so that we can find your project. And then somebody's going to be featured next week, and that person will also win a $15 gift certificate to the Altenew store. Okay, Lisa, on white cardstock. Yes, that's what I figured. Okay, so this is going to get cut out and placed onto the other piece. So it really doesn't matter if this is hanging off the edge. I know that I want to, do I want it that way? Oh, now I have to decide. I think I want it this way. Okay, so I want this to be the main element. This is going to be the flower that the butterfly is hoping to land on. I'm just going to do all of this, even though I think I'm going to trim it down quite a bit. But I want some options. So we're going to stamp it like that onto this cardstock. I'm so crooked. It doesn't matter right now because I'm cutting it out. But yeah, I realize now I put my cardstock on quite crooked. And now I need to decide about color for my stamp. What a great idea. I'm seeing Lisa saying ink blend on the butterfly. That will help make it stand out. The other thing I can do is flip it over and use alcohol markers on the back. That might be really cute because that's going to bring some color onto the butterfly without disrupting the white crisp embossing that we did. Because if I go over it with my markers, since they're alcohol markers, they will just obliterate that white. They're just going to go right on over it and it won't be white anymore. But if I go on the back, it will preserve that white. So maybe I'll do that too. Thank you for giving me that idea. Tammy has some pearlescent vellum. That would be gorgeous. So, so gorgeous. Okay, I'm going to try stamping with the rose quartz. My guess, based on how terribly these colors are showing up, although they look better now that I moved my light, but I'm thinking this won't be dark enough so that I could just grab maybe Puffy Heart to stamp it out. But let me try this. I also want to just do a quick little swipe of stamp conditioning eraser. I haven't used this image at all, I think. So this is just going to help it grab onto the ink. I didn't have to do it with the embossing ink because embossing ink is so sticky it's going to go. It's going to work just fine without being conditioned ahead of time. And I think I'm going to have to double stamp this anyway, just because it's such a light color. But, you know, there's a good chance I'm going to be grabbing a darker color right now. But I'm thinking just having this light pink is going to look so, so pretty on the white. Oh, what a pretty image. So nice. That actually might work. What do you think, friends? What do you think? There we go. That captures it better. There's a little spot here where I missed. It's hard to see this ink. It's so light. I can't tell where I'm inking. But I kind of love that. Okay, let's do the second layer, same color, and see if I feel like I'm good or if I need to darken the image. Because I want it to be light and airy, right? That's the whole thing. That's the whole vibe we're going for, is soft focus. So I really don't want it to be dark. I think this is going to be good enough, honestly. Okay, so with a nice little double stamp. Yeah, this is it. This is it, you guys. Okay. I, of course, don't have my die set with me still. It's still on the other side of the room. I'm not going to cut this out right now. I want to do some coloring on the back of my butterfly before I sign off. And then I will sign off and I will finish this off screen. You know, there's always, or almost always, a cliffhanger here at my challenge because I often don't finish in time for the end of the live session, which is a-okay. Because if you guys choose to play along, and I hope you do not have to submit a finished project. You can always submit a work in progress as long as the work in progress satisfies the challenge prompt. So here we're doing soft focus. If you can explain to me how your work in progress is a soft focused project, then you can enter it and be eligible to win. All right, so let's pull out some light colors for my butterfly. Rose quartz, right? We're using rose quartz anyway. Let's tie it all together with rose quartz. I can always add more colors if I want to. And I'm going to use the brush end of this marker here. And I'm going to do some light flicks. Let me just go off on scrap first. I have a little bit of contamination on my marker. Can you see that? Here we go. I was doing some blending of various colors and it got a little contaminated, but it's not affecting the marker at all. By the way, look at how great this color match is. This is why I love the Altenew color system so very much, is because we have matched paper to ink, to markers, to paint, to acrylic markers, right? Not just the alcohol markers, to watercolor brush markers. It all goes. And I'm going to just put this here so you guys can see what I'm doing. I'm not going to get into this area because this will get die cut and put on my card later. And I'm just going to start with some little color flicks. Just coming out from the center. I don't want to do any elaborate coloring. Just doing some basic little flicks like that. And then we'll see if it's dark enough once I put it against here. No, you almost can't see it. Okay, so I will be going in with a darker color because it's practically invisible. Let me go one more darker color. So Puffy Heart would be next. Oops, wrong side of my marker here. And I'll show you how much deeper it is. So just slightly darker. Let's zoom you back in. And I think this will be good. Actually, let's do this. I'm going to do the whole wing, the whole butterfly, Puffy Heart. I'm sorry, with rose quartz. And then I will flick puffy heart from the center to add that extra dimension. So this will still be see-through because I'm using the alcohol markers. If you used something like an acrylic marker, it would not be see-through. That would be opaque. Okay, so knowing your supplies definitely helps you create the look you're after. And now, remember those flicking motions, doing the same thing, just like this. I could go back and blend some more, like bringing back the lighter color. But because this is on vellum, and we have that colored background, I'm just getting a hint of color here. I'm not really after anything incredibly detailed, but I'm just flipping this over so you guys can see better that like bit of pink that we've added. Okay, now let's hope that yes. Okay, there's a great question. I'm seeing, how are you, Diane is asking, how are you going to attach the butterfly? Okay, so I think for this, especially since we've added that color behind the butterfly, I think I'm going to use liquid glue. And to do that, I'm going to place it where the embossing is, where those lines are, just so that it's as much invisible as possible. But if it squeezes out, it's going to be invisible anyway because this glue dries clear. I'll use the glue. Another option, if you wanted to pop it up, is you can cut pieces of foam tape, cut them thin, place them behind, and do your best to keep it within those lines. So I would see where the embossed lines are the thickest, like in the body. You could even just adhere it on the body. Oh, that's a good idea. Okay, don't you guys love the live like train of thought? You get to hear just everything that is in my head just fall out my mouth in real time. I am going to just adhere the body. I love how this is looking with the wings flopping up, right? Look at that. Okay, so I'm going to put liquid glue behind the body here and then have the rest of that up. I think that's really pretty. That one light here, ever since I moved it, now it's a little bit strong. Okay, you could see that right there. Okay, another option would be if you had something that was coming in front of it, and then you can hide behind it some more adhesive. So as an example, let's say I had a sentiment strip. I can have the sentiment strip overlap some of the butterfly and then use that to flip over and put some adhesive. Okay, so for vellum, yeah, you have to be a little sneaky with how you do your adhesive. Okay, also you could just take like a tape, like a glue tape or a tape runner, and then just put it behind and just stick it down, and you probably wouldn't notice that very much because I added the color and I have such a colorful background. So experiment with your vellum before you go to your project if you're not sure, and also look up online at Altenew on our YouTube channel. We have lots of videos teaching different skills, and if you search for vellum, you will find tips and techniques for adhering vellum. There's a lot of ways to do it, and I'm seeing that we're already over time, so I'm just going to leave it at that. But you can see how this is coming together. I'll be cutting this out once I grab my die, popping the butterfly on, adhering just the body so we have the wings floating. And this is my soft focus, just like an ethereal, pretty little card there. Okay, let me wrap it all up. Okay, sorry about that. I'm back. So I had a lot of fun today. This was quite the journey. As always, we did lots of chatting with some crafting, of course, but I've got some work to do to finish up this project, and I can't wait to show it all to you next week. If you guys choose to play along, please use our hashtag Altenew Challenge Live, and that's how we're going to find it. And we're going to be featuring someone else next week, and that person who created a wonderful soft focus project will win a $15 gift certificate to the Altenew store. Thank you to Mitzi, who's been behind the badge today. I'm not sure if she popped in the winner yet, I'm kind of behind on comments, so I am going to have to go back in later and reread through all the comments, see what I missed, if there's any questions maybe that Mitzi didn't catch. But that'll just about do it for me. And I hope all of you out there have a wonderful, amazing, and crafty day. Bye-bye.